A lot of people have gotten the Meta Quest 2 for this holiday season, and over the past year and a half in general, ever since the product came out. And I was thinking, you know what? Instead of people watching the hundreds of other videos from recognized creators, they should watch this one. This list is going to be a little more niche than other things. I'm still going to have some major games that, everyone's heard of if they're into the Meta Quest. But first, let's start off with some free games that, anybody can play. Bigscreen is a really solid VR movie theater that I cannot recommend enough. It's just a really fun application that anybody who doesn't even like gaming can do, because it's about watching cinema in VR or working in VR. It's a really good application that, for free, you can't get better than that. Echo VR is perhaps the largest attempt at virtual reality esports and probably the best. It's great. It's zero gravity, frisbee, whatever. It's awesome. It's really, really good. If you get motion sickness, probably don't do it, but it's great. Gorilla Tag, I don't know what this game is. It's just awesome. That's all I can say about it. It looks like somebody took Roblox graphics, lowered the resolution 10 times, stretched out all the models, and yet it still looks fantastic. It's just tag, really, but with gorillas, and it has a really unique movement system, and that's true for Echo VR and also this game, which is why I like them both so much. It's because movement in VR can be so unique, and seeing a game like Gorilla Tag where you just press off the ground to move, it's just so fun. As a bonus free game, I'd say the browser for Oculus has some pretty cool stuff. You can get a lot of browser games, it's like the equivalent of a browser game on computer. They're fun and they're free, so why not check them out? But they're not going to be the same meaningful experiences you're going to find with a paid game. Before we get into the paid stuff, I got some bonus things that I just gotta say. Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, just get it. The physics, the game, it's insane. That's it. Same goes for Resident Evil 4 VR. Even though that's a little different of a game, it's a lot more linear and story-based, and it's a near perfect adaptation of a flat screen game into a VR game. Beat Saber, what are you even doing if you don't have Beat Saber yet? Just get out of here. Don't watch this. Here's the main paid stuff. Here we go. First off, Waltz of the Wizard. Waltz of the Wizard, when it came out, kind of revolutionized VR interaction because everything was interactive. You walk around the entire little tower they have you in originally, and it's insane. You pick up every object, everything just has this little charm to it, interactions, and this game has received so many updates, it's insane. It's gone from a tech demo to a really impressive tech demo to something beyond that, like an actual game, and it's amazing. Especially now with this new Natural Magic update, which I was not fond of initially, but it's really improved with some new spells and just stuff like that. It's amazing. I don't even know what to tell you. It's really fun. Walkabout Mini Golf is the most clean and perfectly done adaptation of a sport into VR. Because I don't want to play mini golf anymore. I'm done with that. I got Walkabout Mini Golf, which has so many unique locations and courses that makes regular mini golf feel like a bore. And for only $15, it's a steal. Time Stall is a really unique game. It's very, very underrated. It's an interesting game because it's a puzzler action with a little bit of action. It's about time stalling in between these sessions of major danger, and you have to solve the puzzle within time limit. It sounds stressful, but it's not. It's really fun. It's kind of like a spy almost. It's not a spy, but it feels like it. Graphically, I think it's great. It's got some good reflections. Story-wise, it's very fun. Some people have really gone harsh on this game for its content and some of its puzzles. I just think it's a very, very fun game. Again, similar to Waltz of the Wizard, as I was saying earlier, a lot of heavy VR interaction that's really fun. Loco Dojo Unleashed is a super fun online party game. It's like Super Mario Party, or just Mario Party inside VR, but it's more different because Mario Party, it has a larger emphasis on the board than this, because in Loco Dojo, whoever wins the most minigames auto wins. So in that sense, it's a lot more skill based, but at the same time, you lack the same charm and luck as Mario Party. But it's really great. I just wish they were adding more minigames, but for 20 hours of game time, you're set for 20 straight hours. This game is insanely fun with friends. I really love third-person platformers, and they're especially amazing in VR. Despite a lot of talk about them not truly utilizing the VR, technology, I think, though, Moss does, because it's a really powerful game, and it's a really interesting one about, you connect through, like, this library. It's a whole, like, it's amazing. You gotta turn these pages to the book, go around, explore this landscape with this little mouse, whatever. It's awesome. It's got a fun story. It feels epic. It feels grand. It's exactly what a VR third-person platformer should be. Staying on the subject of puzzle games, Tetris Effect Connected is awesome. It really is. I mean, I'm not a big Tetris guy, and I never was, but Tetris 99 really was fun. I played that for like 5 hours or something, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for me it was. I just don't really like Tetris. And then Tetris Effect came along on the Quest, and it just blew my mind. It was weird. It just felt more of an experience than a game, even though it's Tetris, so it's not even close, no story, nothing. It was just full game. And yet the way they did it almost made it feel like an experience, in a good way. Resolution Games is a really good VR developer. Their most notable title is Demio, but a classic is Blaston, which is a like one-on-one dueling game with like weapons that kind of move in slow motion. You gotta customize your loadout, go to these different locations, different game modes, ranked. It's a blast. It's another kind of esports title, and it's super fun. I was thinking about putting Star Wars Vader Immortal on this list, but then I realized Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge is one of the best VR games I've ever played. And the first part of it sucked. It was awful. Like, it was okay. Like from an objective standpoint, it was an okay game. Like the first part of this. But then, when the second part, DLC The Last Call, came out, it blew my mind. Because it was so story-driven and action-intensive. It utilized so many mechanics that were brought into play in the first part, but actually built upon them in the second part. Because before, Vader Immortal was the definitive Star Wars VR experience, but not anymore. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, including its DLC, beats Vader Immortal in my book. Just because it's more gameplay focused, and the second part is such an interesting story. As you can tell from this next one, I really do love puzzlers. They're like my favorite genre in VR. Not in VR, I don't like them at all. I Expect You to Die 2 really blew my mind though, because when VR came out, I tried I Expect You to Die. It didn't really grab me in the way it did for a lot of people, and it has a lot of really unique VR mechanics, but I just craved more of a story, more of a reason I was going between these locations, because it's supposed to be like a James Bond game. It's based off one of the lines from Goldfinger way back in the day, so I was really looking forward to it, but it just didn't grab me the same way as I Expect You to Die 2 did, because I Expect You to Die 2 is super engaging. It's got a full story. You got Will Wheaton as one of the main cast members and voice actors, and I love that opening sequence. I will show some of it, but I won't spoil it. It's just awesome. The music, the graphics, it's all swirling colors, the transitioning, it sets the tone for an awesome VR game. And you can tell, a 4.9, it generated like $1 million in revenue in the first 30 days or something, far surpassing the revenue of its original title. And it's fantastic. Resolution Games also made Acron Attack of the Squirrels, which is a very unique and different kind of VR game. Rather than having everything inside the headset, only one player will don the virtual reality headset and become the tree who defends its acorns from these squirrels that come out from like people's mobile phones who play and like join the person in VR. And each squirrel has a unique ability. Some can build, some can dig. It's really fun. Another amazing puzzling game is A Fisherman's Tale. Fisherman's Tale is fantastic. It kind of keeps you guessing throughout the entire thing of what's going on, what is happening, and it does an excellent job of accomplishing that. It's just a fantastic puzzling game, just like I Expect You to Die 2, but in a different sense. Jurassic World Aftermath was not what I was expecting, but it's still pretty great. I was expecting an action-intensive, shooting game or something along the lines of how they did Star Wars in VR. But it was very unique and different. Rather than having it fully action-intensive, it's a suspenseful horror almost in a way kind of game, where despite its comic book-like art style, really gets the blood pumping when you're hiding from these like dinosaurs, and it's fun. It's just a blast. But you gotta traverse this location. It's really good. Second to last on this list is Shadowgate VR, like Shadowgate: The Mines of Mythrock. It really is an overlooked title. It's got a heavy emphasis on story, puzzling, and a lighter emphasis on combat, which is interesting because I thought the whole thing was going to be combat. Don't get me wrong, it's got a lot of really action-intensive scenes, you're fighting stuff, all this, But what it really does is it creates an atmosphere within the game between all these puzzles, these rooms, the setting, and the story. Because they have this Odin Raven guy who gives you hints and kind of clears up a few things, I'll say. And it's one of the best designs in VR gaming because it really provides a way for the user to understand the puzzles better and have an assistant almost in the whole thing. And it's a really great game. Lastly on this list is a puzzle game, go figure, but it's the best puzzle game I've ever played. It's The Room VR: A Dark Matter. This for $30 is insane. It really is. The puzzles are so clever and well designed with a hint system that makes sure that, you know, if you're not really understanding them, you can always get help, which is a great feature. Graphically, I think it's amazing. Even on the Quest 1, it's great, which is saying something. Lengthwise, it's like 6+ hours, but I mean, it's a truly cinematic sort of experience. It's not without its flaws, don't get me wrong. I mean, like, I would love to have character interaction between an actual person, not just a letter, you know, not just some words on a piece of paper. But it's like, come on, I mean, this game is so good, I can't bother to complain about it. It's just, it's a standout. It's a really standout game that can be enjoyed by any VR user. So that was a list of some pretty cool MetaQuest 2 games, I'd say. You know, I had a few more niche games. For example, I don't think many people talk about Shadowgate, The Mines of Mythrock. But anyways, those are some cool games I thought, you know, like just top like 15 there. That kind of more of an obscure list. Of course, I would love to put Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, and Resident Evil 4, and Beat Saber or whatever. But that should be separate, I feel like, because that's, I mean, like, you're going to see that everywhere on the Quest platform. You have something talking about something other than those games.